Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay. Hopefully, okay, just give me a second here. Get, okay, I'll be getting started in 2 minutes. Just give me a little time here, getting this populated onto my Facebook pages. All right, so we are good to go. All right, so hello. Let me just get my screen share working here. Hopefully you guys will remember I am live on YouTube. Hooray. Hopefully this will work wunderbar. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so hopefully you can see everything here. All right, so let's get started. I started a while back, about a few hours ago actually, regarding the back testing of my strategy that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. Now, hopefully you guys are seeing everything. I don't have any commenting unless you're on the actual Zoom info that I provide on Facebook and Twitter. We're just loading up our JForex to give you a historical of what's been going on. And today I'm going to show you what I'm doing to capture data for commodities. Now, everything I'm going to present are through CFDs. This is through Dukas Copy, JForex. I'm also going to show you Forex pairs as well. So I'm not sure how many people are watching. I can't see any of my information here. Let me just go, got another system running here. So let me just log into my Facebook and see if I can verify that we have YouTube working. Okay, let me just pull up this YouTube link here. Okay, so I don't have anybody on my chat. Doesn't look like I have anybody, period. That's okay. All right, so let's get working here. All right, so sorry about the delay. It's now 1:30. All right, so this time I said I would be getting started. Okay, so what I'm going to show you are a couple of scripts I've been working on. Now, in here in JForex, which is the Java JForex, I've got 3 strategies, if you call them that. And what they do is they push data, create data for 3 asset classes. So the first one is for Forex. Let's see if I can find that one. So many options and changes I've been working on. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so we have this one. And what we have here is the ability to create CSVs. Now, not sure who's been following me on the CSVs generated. Basically, we are able to generate hourly, 4-hourly, and daily. And now we can go back as far as January 2005. So what basically that means is I'm going to show you a sample CSV here. Load it up in my LibreOffice in the spreadsheet. Okay, so this is a typical file that gets created, a CSV. And this is created daily data. Okay, this is for the Australian Swiss franc cross, a Forex pair. And I'm able to download the data as far back as January 19th. Okay, and I can go all the way to today, or I think it's yesterday. So today is the 12th, or whenever this was generated. So yeah, this was generated yesterday, like an hour and a half yesterday locally. So I'm good up until March 11th, and it is the open, high, low, close with the historical data, sorry, the volume. Okay, so this is a format of each CSV that I'm able to generate. Now, the funny thing is, as I said, I have here daily 4-hour and 1-hour charts. This data is from Duca's copy JForex through this script or Java file program that I've written to capture and push that data into or generate that CSV. And as I said, I've got about 35 pairs for Forex. Okay, so that is that. So I have here as another example, the Euro, Japanese yen, same idea as I showed you with the other file. And we have here going back to, again, January 19th, 2005, end of day data, open, high, low, close with the volume as I showed earlier. All right, so that's for Forex data. And I've also categorized them into both commodity and also equity. Now, I have the ability to download direct data from, or sorry, not stock data, but it is CFD. I'm not sure if it's binary options, but it was strongly recommended not to go this approach with the binary options for the stock stuff. So what I'm referring to is in here in JForex. Now, this is a demo account, just so you know. And these are all the instruments that I'm subscribed to. So I have 91 instruments that I'm currently subscribed to. So again, we are of various cross pairs, about 35 of them. Some commodity, which is about 12. And again, these are CFDs. And we also have the US, or sorry, just global stock indices as well. So in this case, we have the iShares JP Morgan USD Emerging Market Bond ETF. So I'm able to track that. So you're probably asking what exactly am I able to generate here. So if I go into my source files, just give me a second here. I'm going to navigate to the proper Python folder. Okay, so in here I've got, I'll show you the currency pair list that I'm able to watch or push that data. And this is the entire list. So here, as I said, we have 35 cross pairs of Forex. These are the pairs themselves. Canadian Hong Kong dollar, British pound with the Swiss franc, US dollar, and the South African rand. And there's not some exotics, but I am able to do euro, Singapore dollar, the euro, Norwegian kroner, the New Zealand dollar here, and some other crazy stuff. Now, I could also add in some other better selection of the exotic pairs. So if I'm looking at some good examples that they've just added, if you're, okay, let me just find it here. So if I go down to US dollar, I'm able to get cross pairs of things like the Turkish lira, the ruble, the Thai baht, some really exotic stuff that you wouldn't be able to, the Romanian leu, the Polish zloty. So I'm able to get some really exotic stuff that you cannot find elsewhere through brokers. And these are where the volatility lies, which is pretty crazy with these moves. But in order to get access to those cross pairs, you have to have a live data account and acknowledge that you are willing to trade those exotic pairs. So those are the currency pairs I'm able to track. Now, if I move into the commodity, what I'm able to do is, let me just do a file here. So in my case, I'm able to track these commodities here. There's only 8: Brent oil, Bitcoin, US dollar, which is a big one, obviously, because now I can kind of watch the crypto, but I think there's some bugs here. We also have access to the copper, gold, silver, gas, treasury, and junk bond as well. Okay, so I'm able to track those kind of commodities, which is pretty cool. And if I move into the commodity folder, or sorry, the equity folder, I have access to, I can't remember the number of symbols. I have access to that. So we are dealing with, yeah, so we have 34 again to track. And these can range from US tech, there's a SPY, the Japanese index, the Deutsche index, which is Germany here. I'm able to track France. I know somewhere in there's Britain here, as well as a variety of other cross sectors and whatnot. So because I'm able to do that, I'm not sure if anybody has watched my series of videos that I put out on Friday or even late last week. Just give me a second here. Yeah, here. Okay. So if you go into my Quant Labs channel, because you're watching on live now here in this video, but if you looked at the older videos from Friday, this one called Stock Market Show How to Deploy Capital Daily for, what's the name of this video? For max return with each your asset class selection. This one does a breakdown on an overall analysis on Bitcoin, the stock indices, and all the other current other instruments, as well as this one goes fully into detail with the Forex pairs I just showed. So because I'm able to track that, again, that's over, as it says here, all the way at the top here, it says that we're now watching 92 assets, okay? Or I have the ability to do that. So now I'm able to generate all this data. As I showed you, that goes all the way back to most of them, especially the major currency pairs, go all the way back to 2005 of January. In this case, we are trying out the, what do you call it, the XLE, and that has been added to the Dukas copy back in November 2017. A lot of people might be interested in Bitcoin so with Bitcoin, yeah, it should be this one here. This one's been added, I believe, in May 2017. So that's when Bitcoin's been added to the list of assets for Dukas copy. And again, we have oil that we can watch as well. And that goes as far back as 2006 in November. So knowing that we are now able to generate back tests with this data that I'm able to test. So let me show you what I plan to do. So let's say if I, with a Forex pair, what I want to do is, so let's say Euro Hong Kong dollar, which is one of the stronger pairs. So here, I'm not sure how far back this one goes. So this goes back again to January 2005. Let me just load up this spreadsheet here. So what we're able to do is, let's say what I'm planning to do with the back testing is to start from each day of the season. So for spring being March 21st, I can start here, run it for 30 days till March, April, May, June 20th. Okay, so I have 90 days worth of data, run a back test, do a gauge on what should be the assets or instruments that I want to forecast and use and deploy capital on to test to see if the strategy actually works or not. And then because I have real live historical data, I'm able to then gauge and use historically if the actual data is the right set of instruments. So yeah, so I have the ability to do that. Very powerful to do that. I'll probably go over the results once I get through this test. So the two things I'm going to be testing for is to make sure that the data or the assets that are picked are the strong ones as they should be that are forecasted, and then the actual is actually the ones that are forecasted. And because I have the portfolio optimizer, which I have been using here in this video, the stock market show how to deploy capital daily, that will show you how to use the right technique, the portfolio strategy technique, be it the Markowitz, long, short, or market neutral. Same with a minimum variance, and be able to allocate the right weights using what that optimizer calculates. So that's the idea of the test. So hopefully we'll see how it goes. But I'm very interested once I get the test complete, but I just wanted to walk people through it. So I've got this same version of presentation available on my Facebook group. Okay. So I'm just testing out different versions of this presentation to see which venue gives me a better reach. Is it going to be YouTube, or is it going to be a Facebook group or the Facebook page? So in the next little bit, if you're on my Facebook group, or sorry, my Facebook page, which is at, let me just pull that up. So that would be, here, Facebook. I think it's Quant Labs. So right here, yeah. So this is the place you want to be if you want to see the next live presentation on the group, which is going to be on facebook.com/quantlabs.net. So I'm going to do that now. How many people? So I only got one person, so just myself. So I'll record this and crank this out on my YouTube and also on my podcast. So hopefully some people may find some use out of it. But if you have any questions, just comment away and we'll get those taken care of. Talk to you. And I can only really, just so everybody know, I can only really answer on the same day that this video goes up. I can't do it a year or 2 years down the road because a lot of things can change over that time, and whatever you question will most likely be irrelevant. So take advantage while you can. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.